All right, so we're going to be looking at what we're going to call density. Density is how dense things are, how compacted things are. So imagine in a classroom, right? You guys been in schools. In the classroom, our desks, they're not made out of wood. They're made out of compressed cardboard, right? So density would mean how much cardboard is there on the desk. Now, couple formulas we're going to use. Let me use the letter D for density. We can use our density is going to be quantity over volume. Imagine I had like a cake, right? I have a cake, and let's say I give you the shape of the cake. You know how to get the volume of figures, right? Let's say this one is a prism, so it's a rectangular prism, and I give you the measurements of the cake. Let's say it looks like this. Right, a rectangular prism. And I said, well, this cake is 5 by 4, and then the height is 3. So we can get the volume of this. The volume is 60, right? 60 cubic inches. And so here we have 60 cubic inches. But then I said, I'm going to have 120 chocolate chips. I want to know what's the dense in cubic inches of this cake. So basically, how many chocolate chips are there going to be in each cubic inch? I just said there were 120, so 120. So quantity divided by volume, in this case, will be 2. All right, something as simple as that. So 2 chips per cubic inch. So we can do quantity over volume. Let me take a look at other examples here. Other examples we're going to do is our density. We're going to use people over area. Let's say I was to tell you how many people are there in this town that we live in. How many people are here? So I will tell you how many people are there. And then I either give you the shape of our city, or sometimes we like to use the area of circles. So remember, radius squared times pi. So I tell you how many people live in the city, what's the area of the city, and then I ask you how many people are per, if I tell you the area in miles squared, so then I'm gonna ask how many people are in each cubic mile. So how many people divided by area, and then that's the density. Another way we're gonna use, it's a mass over volume. Okay, mass over volume. Okay, so how does that mean? How do I use that? Let me show you a couple examples. I create these examples because it's a little bit easier to explain like this. Now here, a block of aluminum occupies a volume of 15.0 milliliters and weighs 40.5 grams. What is the density? Okay, the mass is how much does it weigh, and then the volume, well, you guys can see here, volume of 15.0 milliliters. Okay, so I'm just going to say my density in this case is going to be 40.5. So matter of fact, it's going to be grams here over 15. And now I might even see the measurement here, milliliters at the side. So I'm just going to go 40.5. 40.5 divided by 15. And then my density here is going to be 2.7 grams per milliliter. Let's take a look at another example here. So 28.5 grams. Okay, so I already know that the mass of iron shot is added to a graduated cylinder containing 45.5 milliliters of water. So let me start here. I know I'm going to say my density is mass over volume. The volume is always at the bottom. And I just said 28.5 grams. So that's the weight, that's mass. So 28.5. Now I got to figure about the volume here. So let me continue reading it. Right, this is added to a graduated cylinder containing 45.5 milliliters of water. So let me highlight that. And the water level rises to 49.1 milliliter mark. Okay, so calculate the density of iron. So I had 45.5 milliliters of water, just the water. Once I added the iron, my water level went up to 49.1. So I'm going to say the volume of my iron here is 3.6. You guys might be wondering, wait, where did that 3.6 came from? Subtract those two values. Remember, the 49.1 is the water with the iron. 45.5 is just the water. So subtract those two values and it's 3.6. So my density here, and as a matter of fact, let me just write grams per milliliter. That's my measurements here. So I'm just gonna go 28.5 divided by 3.6. Let me round this to one decimal place because I don't want to write too many numbers. Let me call this 7.9 grams per milliliter. One thing I want you to focus though, let me highlight this in green. Volume. For my formulas, volume was always at the bottom. Now, when we're dealing with a flat surface, it's area, right? It's not volume, it's area. So that should help you for your homework.